year because it's like there's so many lessons that were coming to my mind. It's like I got to condense this and simplify it so people can get it. And it just let me know how much growth has really happened in my life. There's so many people I talk to year after year. They haven't learned anything. They haven't grown in any way. They haven't gained any new perspectives about their lives. And that is very troubling because to go through 365 days and not to be able to extrapolate any type of wisdom or insight from this season of your life is not a very responsible thing. It lets me know that life is happening to you instead of you happening to life, and that you're not dominating life as you were created to do so. And so at the same time, I have encountered obstacles, faced opposition, and had to overcome a myriad of challenges this year. So I never want people to be confused because people will see you doing well, they'll see you winning, they'll see awards, they'll see all of these great things happening in your life. But I don't want people to ever be conflicted about it and to think that I just woke up and everything in my life was just wonderful. I face challenges just like you face challenges. I face battles just like you face battles. But I think the thing that separates me from other people is the bulletproof mindset that I've developed, and that regardless of what happens in my life, I have the ability to think my way through this. I have the ability to overcome and to surmount any obstacle that attempts to oppose me in my journey to change and success in my life. 2024 was a year that challenged me to step out of my comfort zone and to seize change in so many aspects of my life. It's so funny because I thought 2023 challenged me to step outside of the box. There were some things that I encountered in 2023. It's like, whew, let's get to 2024. And it's like 2024 came in, and all of a sudden, I was forced out of my comfort zone even more. And it's like, well, how much more uncomfortable do I have to get? But what I'm realizing is that discomfort is a gateway to some of life's greatest discoveries. Write that down. Discomfort is a gateway to some of life's greatest discoveries. And so the more I have embraced discomfort, especially in the last 2 years of my life, the more I've discovered about myself, the more I've discovered about life, the more I've discovered about relationships, the more I've discovered about God, the more I've discovered about my purpose, and most of all, the more I've discovered about my potential and how to best serve humanity with the gifts that God has given me. 2024 forced me to leave what was familiar and dare to embrace my prophetic future. There are so many things that have just can just become very familiar and monotonous to you. And I believe that God allows those moments of discomfort and us to get uncomfortable to break us out of the monotony of those cycles and to break us into new possibilities and realities for our lives. 2024 was a year that forced me to let some things go, dismiss some people from my life, and be very intentional about embracing the right relationships in my life. If I begin to go into that statement, we will take over this entire episode and I won't accomplish what I want to accomplish. But this year has really forced me to let some things go. And you let me say this about letting go. Letting go is never easy. I hear so many people that just, they just use it as a cliche. Oh, you need to let go. And the same people telling you to let go haven't let go. Letting go is never easy because we like what's familiar, we like what's comfortable. And if you're anything like me, um, you have to really guard against becoming a creature of habit because I'm so systematic in how I do things and my approach. And that has caused me to be very productive and very successful. But at the same time, if you're not careful, you can become such a creature of habit and so monotonous and so routine in how you do things that you rob yourself of new experiences in your life and you rob yourself of greater fulfillment and relationships and different things in your life because this is the way it's been, this is the way you're going to keep it, and it's going to keep you in a box and it's going to cause you to be miserable and unfulfilled in your life. And so you got to let go because what I discover is that there are some things that just don't serve you anymore. And to try to step into a season with something that no longer serves you is a recipe for sabotage. Write that down. To try to step into a new season with something that no longer serves your life is a recipe for sabotage. And it creates this misery and this sense of disappointment and this sense of heartbreak that you shouldn't have to be experiencing in your life. And so you just have to know that it's time to let some things go. And you have to be okay with that. And then not only that, there are some people that you just got to dismiss out of your life. You love them, you wish them well, you pray for the best in their lives, but you just have to let them go because uh, those relationships may have been good for your where you were, but they are not good for who you are becoming. And so many times we don't focus enough on who we are becoming in forming relationships in our lives. And so we settle for the right now, but we did never take the time to develop our relational constellation with people that fit who we are becoming. And I know that is a journey that I've had to explore in my life so many times because, oh, they were good and we were good in this time in this season. And it dawns on you, yeah, you were good for then, but you've grown way past that and they're not good for who you are becoming. And one of life's most important questions for me is always, who am I becoming? And ultimately, I'm becoming the next best version of myself, but on a greater scale, I'm becoming who I was created to be. And when you discover that, you discover that not everybody is going to be able to go with you. And it's a painful lesson because we want to take, if you're like me, you want to take everybody with you on this journey. But I've been on this journey long enough to know that everybody's not going to go with me. And I have to be willing to keep going, even if I'm walking by myself. Eventually, you're going to find other people that will be able to come along on the journey with you. But you got to be willing to walk along and take those necessary steps to move to the life that you were born to live. Um, 2024 was a year that forced me. Uh, I just said that. So you got to be willing to let those things go in your life. 2024 was a difficult year because with growth comes pain. This is one of the things I warn people about all the time. Everybody wants to grow, but when you begin to realize that growth comes with pain, and there are growing pains that you experience as this transformation is happening in your life, that's where you lose a lot of people because we don't like pain. We don't like discomfort. And also, with growth comes a courageous decision to separate from everything that no longer serves you and to sever everything from your life that does not support who you are becoming. Now, I won't delve too deep into that because I just kind of talked about that, but you got to be willing to separate from what doesn't serve you and to sever from everything that does not support who you are becoming. And I know that's a hard one because, like I said, we become very comfortable with what is familiar and what has been convenient in our lives. But when it doesn't support the growth trajectory and who we're becoming, we begin to stifle our own progress and suffocate our own potential. And that's a whole nother discussion for another day. 2024 challenged me to let go of the superfluous and to ensure that I was only embracing substance in my life. One of the things that this year really did for me, and I don't know why I'm talking about all this, but this is going to be helpful for somebody to finish this year, is it really, at every quarter of this year, every season of this year, I felt a deep cutting away. And it's almost as if you got to get rid of the excess, keep the essential. You got to get rid of the excess, keep this. And because I'm a finance person, my background was in finance, I understand that. We talked about auditing in the last episode, how you have to do certain things to ensure that you're compliant and that you pass your audit. Well, it's the same way in life. There are some things that are excessive that don't belong in our lives, and we have to get rid of the excess and get down to the essential. And I remember at one point in this year, I said, "Well, God, how much more cutting away needs to happen?" I said, I feel like I cut enough away. I've cut it away, and He began to show me more things. Now, this needs to be cut. This needs to be cut. And it's like you just take a breath. Like, is it going to be anything left when you finish cutting away? But here I stand, just a few days from ending the year. What a great decision! Because a lot of those things were just not necessary to begin with, and we just begin to become very comfortable with things that are ultimately